Hi guys, welcome to my TED Talk. It's stop crying. So I honestly like to consider myself a nice and easygoing guy. Like I don't get mad or offended easily, and I try to, you know, trying to come up with a problem that makes me angry and how to solve it. It's a pretty hard challenge, right? Because my whole mentality on it is that life is too short to be angry all the time. So I do my best not to be angry at all and just ignore things I don't like. And I've honestly, personally, found that to be way easier to live life. So what makes me angry? That would be this whole political correctness culture and people that are easily offended, and anyone that just tries to justify their actions now with the past, if that makes any sense at all. I'm sorry if this is at all confusing. Second language is English. This is just from what I've seen from the time I have grown up here. But don't get me wrong, I understand that there are lines that you just don't cross, right? Because there's definitely a difference between just making a joke and just being a blatant jerk. Like, those are two completely different things. What makes me angry is that people that cry about every little thing that is said, and then they try to turn those tiny little things into huge problems. Like, they blow it out of proportion for no reason at all. Like, that's what angers me. And like, as an Asian American being raised in two different cultures, I have seen the numerous differences between the two, both good and bad. And what I've noticed about the American culture, at least an aspect of it, is that everyone feels as if they're free and entitled to everything, even for events that happened in the past. Like, an example would be of this would be like my great grandfather was a career criminal and a gang leader in way back when, but because of what he did, I have to pay for it now. Like, that's just stupid. Meanwhile, in the Vietnamese culture, which is more merit based, if that makes any sense, like, going back to the example before, my great grandfather paid for his crime. That's it. It's in the past. Leave it. It's done. Move on. No one is entitled to anything, and you have to earn everything based on your merit. Like, it doesn't matter what you look like, what family you come from. Like, if you come from a super rich, successful family, but you're just a useless, lazy bum, no one's gonna want you. Not even your family. Right? And, like, just secondly, my parents came over here they came to the US to have better lives. Right? And people are always saying how they can't do anything or get anywhere in life because their people are oppressed or whatever. And you know what have to say about those people? They're just lazy. Like, they want to have the nice fancy things that people have without having to work for them. Like, my father's family immigrated over here in 1978, literally right after the Vietnam War. And my grandparents came over here with $2 to name. 2. But they were able to raise 8 kids and put all of them through college. So, like, what's your excuse? Did they face prejudice and racism? Oh, 100%. This is right after the Vietnam War. Of course they would. But did they let that hold them back or use that as an excuse to get anything? No, they didn't. Like, have I ever faced any racism? Honestly, I couldn't tell you if I have, because I don't remember, because things I don't really care about, I don't remember, and I probably just laughed it off anyways. Because words only have meaning if you give it to them, because if words truly had meaning, like absolutely 100% irrefutable meaning, then you can go to the countryside of Vietnam and tell someone F you and they get pissed at you. But if you go over there and you say F you, they're just going to look at you funny, like, what's this crazy person doing? Because words don't have a true meaning. And another example of this would be like the middle finger, or the bird, whatever you want to call it, right? Over here, you flip someone off, they're gonna get angry at you. You're like antagonizing them and you're insulting them. They want to fight. But you go do that in Vietnam, they're just gonna look at the sky. And why is that? It's because the middle finger is how we point at everything. Because way back when, in the old days, with like emperors and whatnot, and royalty, they would point with their index finger. So if you're pointing at someone with your index finger, that means you're looking down on them, which, obviously super bad, right? That it just goes to show no true meaning. Now, the world isn't just going to sit back and watch and wait for you to stop crying over some minuscule problem before it just hits you again. That's just not how it works. Is it wrong to just be rude all the time? Yes, 100%. Like, there's a thing called being a decent human being, which of course I try to be to my best ability. Like, I understand what being a nice and respectable human being is, but if you can't take a joke because you expect the world rather to treat you like the little snowflake that you are, then just good luck surviving and living an enjoyable life. Because honestly, like, if someone offends you the first time, politely tell them to stop, and if they don't, cut them out of your life. That's simple. That's it. You don't need to make a huge ordeal about it. It's like, why? Like, if someone offends you and you get mad, who's paying for it? Like, who's getting affected? You are, right? Like, the person that insulted you is probably laughing at your reaction while you're over here mad and crying, having a little hissy fit about it and not enjoying your life. And that, are you, like, if you're mad, are you happy when you're? No, you're not. So, like, why let that offend you? Why are you gonna let that person control your life like that? Like, my point is, stop crying because your people or whatever are stereotyped. Like, just own it. Like, I flaunt a rice hat, for crying out loud, okay? Just stop. If you don't like something, just walk away. Stop turning tiny little problems into nationwide ones and falsely blaming people for your problems. Equal opportunity does not, and I repeat, does not mean that there will be equal outcome, okay? Just shut up and stop crying. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.